Today, we're jumping into one of the most beautiful and, let's be honest, mysterious books of the Bible, the Song of Songs. But we're not just reading it as a love story. We're looking at it through a really specific lens, as an allegory, a detailed map of a deep spiritual journey.
Right from the first line, it's intense. May he kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. Now, in the interpretation we're exploring, this isn't just romance. It's the cry of a soul that's past asking for blessings or miracles. It's a deep, gut-level longing for direct, personal intimacy with God himself.
So yeah, the whole idea here is that the relationship we see playing out between this maiden and her king is actually a play-by-play for a believer's walk with God. It's a journey, and it's got all the drama, intense desire, major tests, painful separation, and in the end, a total transformation. But what's really fascinating is where this whole story kicks off. According to this view, this isn't a story for spiritual newcomers. The maiden is already in what's called the Holy of Holies. She's already in a place of deep, mature intimacy with God. This journey isn't about finding God. It's about going from intimacy to an even more profound, unshakable union. Okay, so stage one. This is all about that initial fire, that awakening of spiritual desire. She's had a taste of this incredible divine love, and now, suddenly, nothing else in the world quite measures up. And this comparison just nails her new mindset. When she says your love is better than wine, she's not just being poetic. Think about it. Wine, in this context, represents the absolute best, most satisfying thing the world has to offer. And she's saying, yeah, I've tried that. And your love, it's infinitely better. It's a conscious choice.
And her desire doesn't go unanswered. The king hears her, and he invites her into his chambers, a place of privacy, of one-on-one connection. This is a huge first step, and it's in this intimate space that she starts to have some pretty massive realizations about herself.
The first big aha moment is this incredible paradox. She looks at herself and sees she's dark, like the tents of Kedar. She's totally aware of her own flaws, her sinfulness. But in the exact same breath, she sees that she's lovely, like the curtains of Solomon, made beautiful by his grace. She's learning to hold both truths at once, flawed in herself, yet absolutely perfect in his eyes.
Then comes the second realization, and this one's a tough pill to swallow. She realizes that she's been so busy working in the vineyards, plural, meaning lots of external duties and ministry for others, that she's completely neglected my own vineyard, singular, her personal inner life with God. It's the classic trap of doing work for God while forgetting to just be with God.
So she's in this place of intimacy, she's had these huge moments of self-awareness, and now the story takes a turn. The journey enters a new, much more challenging phase. The king is about to call her higher, and that means she has to leave her comfort zone.
And there it is, the king's call. Rise up and come away. It's a direct invitation. It's a call to action, to move beyond the safety of what she knows and join him out in the wild in a much more dynamic walk of faith.
But she hesitates. The king, you see, is out there leaping over mountains, effortlessly overcoming every obstacle, and he's asking her to come do it with him. But she'd rather stay inside the safety of her wall, that comfortable spiritual box she's built. She wants the intimacy, for sure, but she's not so sure about the risk.
And right there, in that moment of hesitation, a new danger sneaks in: the little foxes. Now, these aren't some big dramatic sins. No, they're the small, seemingly harmless compromises. A little bit of fear, a few bad habits, maybe just how we waste our time. They seem like no big deal, but they're the very things that quietly destroy a spiritual connection just as it's starting to bloom.
And here's the kicker. Her hesitation has consequences. The king doesn't force her to come. He respects her choice, and he moves on without her to a place called the Hills of Bether. And get this, the name Bether literally means separation. Her unwillingness to grow has now created a real, painful distance between them.
This separation kicks off what is easily the hardest part of her journey. It's a time of darkness, of searching. But as this interpretation sees it, it's a darkness with a deep and loving purpose. At first, her search is completely passive. Notice where she's looking for him? On my bed. From the exact place of comfort she refused to leave in the first place. And as long as she stays there, just trying to get the good feelings back without doing what he asked, she's not going to find him. Now, A lot of people call this experience the dark night of the soul. But it's so important to see how it's framed here. This isn't God rejecting her. It's seen as a form of loving discipline. The king has withdrawn the feeling of his presence to teach her something crucial. Their relationship has to be built on real obedience, not just on pleasant emotions.
So how does she get back to him? It happens in 4 clear steps. First, she finally makes a decision. I will rise now. She gets off the bed, she leaves her comfort zone. Second, she goes out into the city, actively looking for him, getting involved in spiritual activities. Third, and this is a big one, she has to move past her reliance on leaders and teachers to find him for herself. And finally, that true personal active obedience pays off. She finds him.
And this reunion isn't just a return to the way things were. No way. This is the climax of the whole story. The testing, the searching, the darkness. It has fundamentally changed her.
So, what's the result of this whole painful, incredible process? After everything she's been through, who is she now? Well, the king looks at her, and he describes 7 specific things that have changed. Her eyes are like doves. She has a new, single-minded spiritual focus. Her hair speaks of total submission to him. Her teeth, that's about her new ability to really chew on and digest deep spiritual truth. Her lips now speak words of life and redemption. Her cheeks are like a pomegranate, just radiating with inner life. Her neck, once weak and hesitant, is now a tower of steadfast faith. And her breasts symbolize that faith and love are now in perfect, beautiful balance. She's been given a whole new identity, the warrior bride. But her strength isn't what you might think. It's not about being loud or aggressive. The idea here is that her power comes from her deep intimacy with the king. Her authority in spiritual battles flows directly from the strength of her relationship with him.
And the king's reaction to this new version of her? He is absolutely captivated. He says, "You have stolen my heart." Her journey, her obedience, her unwavering focus on him, it has completely won him over. This transformation is exactly what he was leading her toward all along.
And her transformed life is summed up in these final images. She is a garden locked up, a place of incredible beauty, but it's reserved exclusively for the king. And she's a spring enclosed, a source of pure, life-giving water, protected from anything that could contaminate it, totally devoted to him.
So, this entire way of reading the Song of Songs leaves us with one huge question to think about. What if the ultimate spiritual journey isn't really about checking all the boxes and following all the rules perfectly? What if instead it's about pursuing a messy, difficult, and radical kind of love that completely transforms you from the inside out?